Hello, welcome back to another Action Theater Presents. Today's feature is our feature from 1989, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, starring Harrison Ford, Sean Connery, Richard, uh, um, God, why I always mess his name up. Uh, yeah, Don
Okay.
Riles Davis is what I was. That's what I was trying to spit out of my
From
name.
movies. Yeah, huh? Denholm Elliott, Allison Doty, Julian Glover, River Phoenix, as well, and a few others along the way that we will point out when we get to that point in the film. All right.
The true original last hurrah for Indiana Jones. As at the end of this one, spoiler alert, they do ride off into the sunset.
Indeed.
Literally, the best ending to a perfect trilogy.
The synopsis reads as follows. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, rated PG-13. Runtime is 2 hours and 7 minutes. Listed as an action adventure, of course, from 1989, as we said before. There's nothing more exciting than trying to keep up with the Joneses. And Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Indy's Nazi enemies are back, and they've kidnapped his father, Professor Henry Jones Sr., as played, of course, by Sean Connery, in their effort to locate this sacred Holy Grail. Following a trail from America to Venice to the deserts of the Middle East, it's up to Indy to save his father, save the Grail, and save the day. It's non-stop, action-packed adventure for the whole family. No treasure. Okay, so yes, and of course, as Bill said, as far as I'm personally concerned, the true ending to Indiana Jones. So,
Hail to Jamie Lee Simmons, who showed up early. Glad that you're here. All right. So we'd love to bring these to you. We cannot show you them here through the window of YouTube. We are restricted by copyright law and the rules and regulations of YouTube. So we have to have a secondary source where we can show you the film. That link is posted in the chat, highlighted. So think of our commentary as a fan commentary, and that's about all we can give you. If you're here after the fact, the film will not be there. You'll have to go to your streaming platforms. It's available on Paramount Plus, and it's probably available on Pluto and what's the other one? One of the free streaming services.
Tubi, yeah.
Tubi, yeah.
And then, of course, we would suggest having your own physical copy.
Yeah.
And of course, Fandango at home is another place where it can be rented or purchased. But of course, we do highly suggest that you continue with your own physical copy. We recommend that, of course.
Okay, so we're going to have a little 5-second countdown, and you guys can head over to the screen room, and we're going to throw up the commentary only banner when that happens. Yeah. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, Go. I give you the last Crusade. Paramount Pictures. Lucasfilm Film Production.
And we open in where I believe Arizona, somewhere in the west.
Utah.
Utah. Okay.
Utah. Yeah.
Okay.
In Arches
And
National Park.
and this is a Boy Scout troop that is riding through here, and we will very quickly come to find out that one of them is a young Indiana Jones, who's played by the late River Phoenix.
Yep.
Who, if you count the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, would here be the second youngest version of Indy. He would come between Corey Carrier and Sean Patrick Flannery. Again, if you consider that show canon.
I'd say I do. And in one of the later episodes, Harrison Ford actually had a cameo in one of them.
Yes, he does.
I somewhere on DVD, I have the entire series on DVD.
Nice.
Yeah.
Story by George Lucas and Menno Magis. Menno Magis was the I'm sure I'm probably butchering his name, but was the screenwriter on The Color Purple, also directed by Steven Spielberg. And the screenplay for this film was written by Jeffrey Boehm, who, again, sadly no longer with us. He wrote The Dead Zone and The Lost Boys, Lethal Weapon 2, among many others. And the fella who is the not Indy here is an actor named Richard Young. He was in Friday the 13th 5, I think was the one he was in. The one with the fake Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just had to open it. Was Utah 1912.
Okay.
Right about when Arizona became a state. See, we find out that Indiana Jones wasn't originally uh, afraid of snakes. Mm-hmm. It's later we find out how and why he becomes afraid of snakes.
I like how he kind of plays Harrison Ford without going too far into like caricature or parody. It's
right.
Just the right tone. Which made sense because they had been in a movie together before. Because River Phoenix plays Harrison Ford's son in the Mosquito Coast.
Everybody's lost at
Must
me.
be me.
And he thinks he's a cowboy here. He thinks his
Yeah, he
horse is
does.
going to cooperate. And his
Yeah.
horse is like, no, 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 you're not going to jump on my back, sir.
Of course, everybody jumps onto the train, which is a traveling carnival.
A entire train full of reptiles. Why would a circus need that many snakes? Giant anaconda.
Yeah. And if I'm remembering correctly, the young guy chasing him here was in Lonesome Dove as well.
I like this scene with the rhino.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no.
That was a close call.
They're both like, nope. Yeah. Whoops.
Hello, FK8C 2005, sometimes known as Tim. I love this explanation of how he got the scar.
Yeah.
They kind of incorporated it into the movie. But here's a continuity area. It's on the wrong side. The scar
Yeah.
is on the wrong side. For years, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I also do want to say hello to Andrea Black. Heard on the YouTube Connie Cleary. Andrea Black and Santiago Chavez in the Cosmic Chat. And of course, FKT 2005. We're just a few minutes into Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
9 minutes 25 seconds.
We're getting the opening with River Phoenix. So Cosme links into chat. Yeah, I like how he's kind of like, yeah, good on you, kid.
Indiana Jones, he kind of takes his look from that guy.
Yeah. And of course, we are home. Of course, there's the dog, and
Which happens to be Alaskan Husky or Alaskan Malamute. I'm not sure which.
Greek.
Speaking Latin. Enough with the bugle. Belongs in a museum.
Fight's not over yet. I don't have to like it. Portuguese coast, 1938. And of course, as usual in these things, a boat loaded down with everything that can explode.
Yeah.
Because reasons.
Yeah. So do you. Yeah. More explosive stuff. As if the barrels weren't enough. And he finds the ship's life preserver right by the Coronado and his foe's white hat floating in the ocean.
The big hole in it. So he is no more.
And we are back at the University of Illinois, I believe. His female students are still admired with him.
Yeah.
Not to mention some of the males.
Probably.
Here we see Marcus Brody. On his desk is a lot of artifacts that he's found over the years or acquired. Because after all, archaeology is the study of ancient people, ancient civilizations. Boy, one gal's got really puppy dog eyes for him, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So we have in his private office, what looks like a room with artifacts stored in it, and well, maybe a boiler. This guy went to play Maester in the hit TV show from HBO, Game of Thrones. Who for a long time I didn't recognize as him.
Well, yeah, a little older by then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, that was, I think, For Your Eyes Only that he was also in.
Yeah.
I know he's in one of the Bond films. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I'd forgotten that. Of course. Yeah. What is your quest? You seek the Holy Grail. What is your favorite color? No. Channel number J Para PH1. we're up to the Indy getting the mission scene, basically. Yeah,
We are the knights of Saint Neat. We want a shrubbery.
Maybe your father's disappeared is, maybe the thing you should lead with.
Yeah.
There's another little continuity error there.
Oh, we will keep that one in mind. FK8C 2005, sometimes known as Tim. We'll put it on the list.
It should be. It's a decent film. Yeah, keep that one in mind.
That's one I haven't seen, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's now noted and put in the list, on the list. I like how they show an old-fashioned picture of him and his father, an old black and white.
And they retcon Marcus in this because they play him off more comedic in this than they did in the first movie.
Yeah. But it works. It worked very well.
It does. Yeah. And it gives him a chance to do comedy, which was something he really didn't get to do a whole lot.
Portugal,
Spain for the moment.
Venice. A town a city that's been sinking into the sea for
Yes.
Decades.
I like that.
I don't imagine that Venice took too well to the World War II when that happened.
Playing Elsa Snyder, of course, is Alison Doty. Her first movie was another Bond film, A View to a Kill. She's also in Major League 2, and she's in RRR, which I still have not seen. Everybody was telling me like a couple of years ago, you guys, I never got around to it.
Well, hello to you, anonymous snail.
Whoever you may be.
Right. Thank you for joining us this evening. Ah, the Padawan.
Oh, right on. Hey, Padawan, good to see you, sir.
Yes, good to see you.
We are up to the what's referred to as the Grail Library scene. The
Yeah.
whole he's made the reference earlier that X does not always mark the spot, right? And
Yeah.
we're about to get the payoff to that.
Hello to JPRPH1. Always great to see you, sir. India has to go to the top, and look down upon the marble where there's a giant X.
Mhm.
And that is actual marble. I love the way they orchestrated this scene.
Yeah.
The librarian and him stamping the books.
I don't know my own strength.
Basically, in the church, you find it's basically one giant catacomb.
Yeah.
slash sarcophagus.
Suspension of disbelief, Tim.
I mean, literally, there's little human skulls in the walls. Here we have Jason and not the bad guys, not the villains, but protectors of the Grail.
Protectors of the Grail. Yeah. Even though they do start by knocking out Marcus. So,
yeah.
Not too cool, guys.
The Ark of the Covenant. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Indy's looking for some type of lever or something. Another X etched into stone. Ow! That's pretty crazy. Who does that? Breaks through their solid stone wall with their shoulder.
All right.
So he takes a femur bone and wraps some cloth around it, because the water is more that liquid that's flammable.
Petroleum. Yeah. Hit she in the femur with another femur that was laying on the ground.
They used ape sounds for the sounds of the rats here, and they put it in slow motion. But the rat sounds you're hearing is actually like monkeys and primates. The rats were not CGI'd. Those were actually rats that could carry diseases. No,
It's the rats.
never.
Yes.
Sulfur is that it's in the water. The rats are getting antsy. I think these rats are just coming from everywhere. This this Moonraker prequel is weird. Yeah. Don't go between them. She thought he said go between them, and she goes, "Are you crazy?" So don't go between them. It's gonna get pretty tight. As they're fighting, they're in the back of the ship where their propeller is about to chomp the boat up. Welcome, Enigma Service. Our current timestamp is 40 minutes, 14 seconds. No worries, mate. I do Indiana Jones. So even though Elsa is the villain, they sure made it look like they ransacked her room. Now he's in his room, and his room's ransacked as well. You didn't seem to not like it. Venice.
Sorry about that, folks. I had to step away and back.
Salzburg, Germany.
Yeah. Castle sequence. Yeah.
I've done got a sniffle.
It's fantastic. Absolutely. It's not mistakes.
I am Mickey Mouse. How dare he? No, it's okay. You can insult the mouse. We don't mind in 2026. I mean, by all means, insult the mouse.
It was Nazis. Find me on Twitter, the Crimson Fucker. Extra points to anyone who gets that reference.
But then again, in 1938, Disney was what, just an animation studio.
Hmm.
Ouch! Ouch! Junior.
Junior?
It's a fake. That they use the door. Good point. Big ones.
Whoops.
Yes.
Yes.
Now there's two of them. Look.
Giving it to the Box Brothers.
I can't believe what you just did. Trust me.
Structural sleep. Yeah. Bond. James
Awkward.
Bond.
He was just showing her his long game.
Custom. They'll blend in, disappear. You'll never see him again. He's got the grail already. He's picking this now.
Couldn't be farther from the truth. Sala.
That's all. Thank God.
He looks just the same as he did in the first film.
Run.
Run. They used the same trick from the first film.
It's the highest level. He doesn't like you anymore.
No. Well, Callista Flockhart must get jealous every time has to see that scene. Damn it. I like the Austrian way.
In some museum.
Got a shamrock on it.
Uh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
The fireplace, the only thing not on fire. Frappuccino. Alarm! And Indiana Jones leaves a woman to burn to death. Whoops. Toodles.
Ouch. I'm not going nowhere near Berlin. Oh, that's the wrong movie. Just for the blasphemy. And the Nazis are having a book burning party. She's actually crying because they're burning the book. Our timestamp 1 hour, 9 minutes, 47 seconds. Not from that guy. Whoever this actor is here, they really did a good job making him look like the Führer. Michael Sherrod as has Hitler. He played Admiral Oswell in Empire Strikes Back. Okay, thank you for that FK8C 2005, also known as Tim. Uh oh. I'm just gonna bug you because I need your uniform. Tickets. No tickets. Everybody's anxious to show him the ticket. I'm not getting thrown off this Zeppelin. It was the next man. Yes, and I believe that the incident took place in was it New York or Pittsburgh, where the Hindenburg caught flames and burned. New Jersey. Okay. Thank you for that bit of information, FKHE 2005.
I've been muted this whole time. Okay.
Well, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Lakehurst, New Jersey. He's speechless. Land? No. Yeah, I haven't had a good track record with that.
As the movie turns into Hell's Angels for 5 minutes.
Oops. That's a problem. Sorry, sorry, son. They got us.
Of course, she had to know that at some point somebody probably did that, right?
It happens to me all the time. Oh, that would suck. You just got done changing the tire, and then somebody drives away with your car. That was pretty close. It is a giant hole in the road.
Birds in the sky.
It worked. Preemptive bird strike. No, those are donated from all the families of, well, let's say, a lesser religion. In their mind, not my mind. Let's be this straight here, okay? Boy, I really put my foot in my mouth there, didn't I?
Yeah, well.
Rolls Royce. And I nailed that car.
Hell no. Could have been worse. Could have been Trish's car. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the brothers without banners. It sounds all right. No camels.
Has him as number. Well, guys, I don't know quite how to break this to you, but the one you have prisoner is the dangerous one.
The belly that steel beast.
Hello to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. We're 89 minutes in. Oh,
What's this? Uh, ban- a banana in your tailpipe?
step back, Indy-san. Step back. Whoops. Yeah,
Pen is mightier than the sword. Oh, that got him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It's Marcus.
Whoa! Bye bye. He's dead.
I'd say.
Very much agreeable with you, Enigma. What you looking at? Mark is trying to put it together. Well done.
Jump cut in his favor.
Well, don't just sit there. Oh, maybe because I just climbed up a mountain face. Hey, you got your sat back. That could be the Paria Canyon in Utah. Looks just like that. Now, this was used also in the Transformers film. I forgot the name of the place, but it's an actual place. This building ruin carved in stone in the. And I don't think they permit people to go in there anymore. Shame. ISIS and they've been destroying old places like that. Yeah, Petra Jordan. Yeah, thank you, Ingma. Ingma. Must bow before God. Bow, kneel. Damn it, you lost your head. Can't believe he's saying that in a room full of Nazis. Did he get his ass handed to him? Junior. Uh, oh, is an optical illusion. Watch that step. It's rather tricky. What is your favorite color? Blue. No, green. For night. Choose right. Your dad's favorite line is he chose poorly. That's pretty cool. Poorly. It's worse than Daddy. Dead Jim. Dead Jim. No, but it might be gold plated. That's the Stanley Cup. Asa, don't move. Stupid girl. Bye bye, Elsa.
Goodbye. I'm going to guess Galahad, maybe Percival. Just an idea.
No fortune and glory. Elimination. Cue the minions! Cue the minions!
Banana.
Banana! This Junior. Me, George Jr. I like Indiana. We named the dog Indiana. One of the greatest endings to a great trilogy. So many great actors. Yes, sir. Best of them all. Yep. Such a great one. Absolutely. We shall consult the scrolls or deleted scenes will consult the scrolls for us. Consult the scrolls!
Hold on, let me boot that up for you. Come on now. All right. Guess who consult the scrolls? All right, Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom was.
Wrong.
Oh,
Wrong.
sorry. That's Crusade. Sorry.
Wrong one.
My bad.
Try again.
Indiana Jones and
Thank
the
you.
Last
Please come
Crusade
again.
was released May 24th, 1989, at an estimated budget of $48 million, going on to gross $474 million around the world. Sean Connery was nominated as a supporting actor at the Golden Globes. He was also nominated at the BAFTAs, where it was also nominated for visual effects and sound. The film itself won for at the Oscars for sound editing, was nominated for sound and best score. Nominated at the Saturn Awards for best fantasy film, best actor for Harrison Ford, screenplay, and costumes. And a winner of a Saturn Award 2004 for best DVD collection, The Adventures of Indiana Jones DVD collection. And I lost a page.
Oh no.
Give me a moment, please.
FK8 said they don't make them like this anymore. Yes, that is so true.
They do not.
And you're welcome, Santiago Chavez.
All right. All right. Let's see. Ugh, had to go all the way back to the beginning. Hold on, folks. Sorry about that.
No worries.
And being finicky with me today. All right, filming locations. Many. Palazzi, Barbero, Grand Canal, Venice, Veneto, Italy. And the release is Kazim after the boat chase. Fondegana, alla salute. Salute, probably. Campo della Salute, Grand Canal, Venice, Veneto, Italy. Indy and Birdie meet Elsa at the docks. Campo San Barbara, Venice, Veneto, Italy. Indy, Brody, and Elsa enter the library. Indy and Elsa merge in the sewer. Urbanos de Ferro, Almera, Andalusia, Spain. Playa de Monzon de Jar, Almeria, Andalusia, Spain. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to read off all these names. I'm just going to do the easy version, okay? Bournemouth, Hertfordshire, England. Wills Grove, Mill Hill, Barnet, England. Stowe, Buckinghamshire, England. Rickmansworth, Hertfordshire, England. Mayan, Rhineland, Palatine, Germany. Shama, New Mexico. Treasure Island, San Francisco Bay, California. Texas, Colorado, Utah, Essex, England. Essex, England. England, Amarillo, Texas, Andalusia, Spain, Venice, Italy, Woodstock, Oxfordshire, England, Dorsoduro, Venice, Veneto, Italy, Alamosa, Colorado, Cortez, Colorado, Elstree Studios. Cameras and Toltec Scenic Railroad, Chamonix, New Mexico. Desierto de Tabernas, Elmira, Andalusia, Spain. Moab, Utah. Northweld Area Dome, Northweld, Essex, England. Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Schloss Bernstein, Mayan, Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany. The Council Scene. South Park Avenue, Arches, National Park, Utah. Opening soon with the Boy Scouts. Stowe School, Stowe, Buckinghamshire, England, UK for the rally. Tillsbury Docks, Essex, England, UK for the speedboat chase scenes. All right, on to the trivia. All right. Okay. All right. Harrison Ford nominated River Phoenix to play the young Indy, having worked with him before on his favorite of his many movies, The Mosquito Coast. When describing how he prepared for playing the role, Phoenix explains that he didn't really base his portrayal on the Indiana Jones character, but on Harrison Ford himself. So he observed Ford out of character before acting his part. Lowry Digital Images, the same company that cleaned up Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, North by Northwest and Sunset Boulevard cleaned up over 100,000 frames for 2 versions of each movie in the trilogy for the DVD release. Steven Spielberg is on record as saying he made this movie for 2 reasons. 1, to fulfill a 3-movie obligation he made with George Lucas, and 2, to atone for the criticism that he received for the previous installment, Temple of Doom. This is Steven Spielberg's personal favorite of the trilogy. Sir Sean Connery was always Steven Spielberg's first choice to play Indiana Jones' father. It's an inside joke to say that James Bond is the father of Indiana Jones. If that had failed, Gregory Peck, Christopher Plummer, and John Pertwee were backup choices for the role. Spielberg had always wanted to do a Bond movie, but did Indiana Jones as a Bond-type character. In keeping with the James Bond theme, the movie has many Bond movie co-stars. John Rhys Davies, Alison Doty, Julian Glover, Stephen Khalifa, Pat Roach, Eugene Lipinski, Michael Byrne, and Vernon Dobchev. Both tanks, the hero tank for full shots and the process tank for the close-ups of action, now reside at Disney's Hollywood Studios, formerly the Disney and GM Studios in Walt Disney World, Orlando, Florida, although the process tank is no longer on display. When it came to filming the rap scene, the producers inquired of their insurer, Fireman's Fund, whether they were insured if the animals were, for some reason, indisposed due to illness and accident, or simply because they refused to perform. This was a delicate issue, as one lost day of filming can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yet the experts at Fireman's Fund were able to reach a compromise which pleased both sides. They asked Spielberg what would be the least number of rats needed for a dramatic shot. If different camera angles were used, 1,000 rats would probably be sufficient, came the answer. Thus, Fireman's Fund underwrote the world's first insurance policy with a 1,000 rat deductible.
Wow.
1,000 mechanical rats were also used in the scene to help achieve the sound of thousands of rats. Sound designer Ben Burt used the higher registered of thousands of chickens.
And I said that earlier.
Yes, you did. To avoid saying the number of German words in this paragraph, I'm going to paraphrase. The music used in the scene where Indy meets Hitler is also in Battle of the Bulge. Starring Robert Shaw, who, of course, was also in Jaws, also directed by Steven Spielberg. Okay. Harrison Ford and Pat Roach are the only actors to appear in the first three movies. Roach played the giant Sherpa in the first mechanic in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the chief guard in Temple of Doom. A scene was filmed where Indy knocks him unconscious aboard the Zeppelin, extending a running joke in the franchise of Ford's character, knocking down Roach's characters in every movie. However, the scene was not used in the final cut, so the only presence of Roach remaining in the film is the shot of him running behind Vogel towards the Zeppelin. This is also the last movie in the franchise with Roach, who died in 2004. When George Lucas met with Steven Spielberg to discuss a third Indiana Jones movie, he wanted to have it set in a haunted mansion. Spielberg had just finished Poltergeist and decided that he wanted to do something different. Yeah, like remembering that you did not direct Poltergeist.
Yeah.
You totally did not direct Poltergeist. Steven Spielberg is not the director of Poltergeist, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
He totally did not direct Poltergeist. He merely told the camera operators where to leave the camera and told the actors what to do, but he did not direct Poltergeist.
No, that was the Tobe Hooper.
Okay.
It was the same guy who directed the
Watch a Tobe Hooper movie, watch a Spielberg movie, then watch Poltergeist and tell me who directed Poltergeist. Anyway, that's a debate for another show. All right, director trademarks. Music by John Williams. Director trademark Fathers. Henry Jones Sr. was not around after his wife died. And then watched The Fablemans and realized, wait a minute, it was all the mother's fault. Why is he mad at his dad? Anyway, moving on. Sean Connery and Harrison Ford wore no trousers during the shooting of the entire Zeppelin sequence. It was filmed in a very hot studio, and Connery didn't want to sweat too much. Okay. When shooting in Venice, they were allowed to have complete control of the Grand Canal from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for one day. Most of the uniforms worn by the Nazis in the Berlin book burning scene were authentic World War II uniforms and not replicas. A cache of old uniforms was found in Germany and obtained by costume designer Anthony Powell to be used in this movie. The production had 2 tanks for the tank chase scene. One of them was made of aluminum. The whole chase took about 10 days to film instead of the protected 2 days. The idea of an airplane carried by an airship was taken from the U.S. Navy airships USS Akron and USS Macon. Each airship, slightly smaller than the Zeppelin shown in the movie, had a trapeze, also known as a skyhook, under the belly of the airship and hangar space inside for up to 4 small planes. The planes were intended as scouts that used the airship as a flying aircraft carrier. The builders of the Hindenburg attempted, with help from the U.S. Navy, to install a similar trapeze on the Hindenburg shortly before her disastrous last flight in 1937. The idea was for the small plane to act as a mail carrier. However, The pilot was unable to hook onto the trapeze consistently, and the experiment was abandoned. The trapeze was removed from the Hindenburg before she departed for her final flight. The temple at the end of the movie exists, but not in Alexandretta. It is in Petra, Jordan. However, there is no inside to it. The doorway seen on screen is huge. 8 or 9 people shoulder to shoulder can easily walk through it. It leads to a huge empty square room carved from the top down of 2 stories high. Similarly, they wouldn't be able to get lost, quote unquote, down in the valleys. It stretches for about a mile or so. And there is no other route but out. Spielberg and his crew were guests at the royal palace of King Hussein and Queen Noor during the shoot in Jordan, and Spielberg was even brought to the temple by Queen Noor and her children. Cameo, Isla Blair. She is the wife of Julian Glover and plays his wife in the film. Franchise trademark begins with a match cut of a rock in Utah, which is reminiscent of the Paramount Pictures logo. See also Peter's Temple of Doom and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The only movie that didn't do it, Dial of Destiny. Reason up. Williams inserts the Ark Covenant motif from the Raiders, and Indy Elsa as a representation of the Ark on a wall in the catacomb below Bennett. The character named Fedora in the credits, played by Richard Young, was in the script originally named Abner Ravenwood, Marion Ravenwood's father and Indiana's mentor, who is mentioned in Raiders of the Lost Ark and later in the Crystal Skull. You should have kept that. That would have been cool. That would have been a nice callback. In my mind, he's Abner. That's what I was going to say from now on. That guy's Abner. Okay. Spielberg and Ford included the opening scenes as a tribute to their own experiences as Boy Scouts. Unable to keep his hat on during the scene where he's chasing the tank on horseback, despite trying glue tape and newspaper wedges, Harrison Ford pretended in a making of special to staple the hat to his head. I remember that. I remember that special. Okay. This is going to be a bit of a long one. Bear with me for a moment. Okay. Chris Columbus wrote a couple of drafts. His first draft, dated May the 3rd, 1985, was tentatively called Indiana Jones and the Monkey King and revolved around the Garden of Immortal Peaches as the main plot device. Begins in 1937 with Indiana on vacation in Scotland, where he battles the murderous ghost of Baron Seamus Seagrove III. Indy then travels to Mozambique to aid Dr. Clara Clark, a Katharine Hepburn type, according to George Lucas, who has found a 200-year-old pygmy. Bear with me, folks. Named Tiki Tiki, or Taiki, whatever. The pygmy possesses a scroll with directions to the lost city of the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. The Monkey King's orchard reportedly grows fruit that grants eternal life. So the Nazis, because of course there are, led by a hulking officer called Lieutenant Werner von Mephisto. Oh God, how much cocaine were you using, Chris? Are also interested to find a city. On the way over by boat, the pygmy is kidnapped by the Nazis, led by Mephisto's subordinate Sergeant Helmut Gutterberg, who has a machine gun for an arm and escapes in a 3-story tall tank. Indiana, Claire, and Scraggy Briar, an old native friend of Indiana, travel up the Zambezi River and rescue them. When they arrive at the gates of the lost city, they find it defended by guerrilla guardians. Gorillas, as in apes, not like guys named gorillas. Actual gorillas this time. Okay. Find it defended by guerrilla guardians, but Tiki is able to reason with them before they can harm anyone. When the Nazis arrive, a large battle ensues between them and the guerrillas, in which the guerrillas commandeer a tank. Indy attacks while riding a large rhinoceros. Indiana is shot dead in the climactic battle by Mephisto, who gets knocked into a pit of tigers. And Indiana is saved by the Monkey King, a skeletal being half man, half monkey, through a piece of fruit from his garden. Indy finally leaves with Dr. Clark and a shape-shifting staff he received from the Monkey King. Other characters include a cannibalistic African tribe, Michael Rockefeller, white courtesy phone. Michael Rockefeller, white courtesy phone. Yeah, Congo. Yeah. Oh, there's more. Okay. Other characters include a cannibalistic African tribe, Betsy, a stowaway student who is suicidally in love with Indiana, a band of pirates led by Kazur, described as a Toshiro Mifune type, who dies eating a peach because he is not pure of heart. Wait, there's more. Okay. Columbus's second draft, dated August 6th, 1985, removed Betsy and featured Dash, an expatriate bar owner for whom the Nazis work, and the Monkey King as villains. The Monkey King forces Indiana and Dash to play chess with real people and disintegrates each person who is captured. Indy subsequently battles the undead, destroys the Monkey King's rod. Oh no, not his rod. And marries Claire. Location scouting commenced in Africa, but Spielberg and Lucas ultimately abandoned Monkey King because of its negative depiction of African natives and because the script was too unrealistic. No shit. Spielberg acknowledged that it made him, quote, feel very old, too old to direct it. However, the tank chase sequence in this movie was taken from one of his drafts, as well as the theme of an object that grants eternal life. Members of the Chicago-based podcast Alcohollywood, Steve, I'm sorry, jumped on me again, folks. Hold on, let me find it. Sounds like they were on something else, and drinking must have been involved on that one. Yeah. JP says we can do a Kickstarter and make it happen as a fan film. All right. Hold on. Okay, members of the Chicago-based podcast Alcohollywood began periodically releasing an early draft of the script as an episodic audio play at the beginning of 2017. Watching Indiana wrestle with Colonel Vogel, the soldier at the periscope tells his teammates in German a bunch of stuff I can't say. The translation of what he said was, the Americans, they fight like girls. He then immediately gets knocked out. Indy's trademark hat, jacket, and whip currently reside in the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. These items remained on display during filming of The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, as they used numerous duplicates for their prop costumes. According to the address on the package he received from Italy, Indiana teaches at Barnett College. The name of the school is adopted and more prominently used in later media. For example, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. When Professor Jones scares the seagulls to fly up and stop the plane, they are in fact pigeons, not seagulls. Looking closely, one can also see there are numerous cut out seagulls in the sand, which do not move as the others do. The first Indiana Jones movie to receive an MPAA rating higher than PG, the then recently created PG-13. This was a certificate for which Steven Spielberg and prequel Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom were partly responsible. Actress Amanda Redman was asked to play the female lead of Elsa, but turned it down because of her real-life fear of rats. The Wilhelm scream, after the first grenade has been thrown in the desert gunfight scene. 2,000 rats were bred for the production. Breeding them especially was necessary, as ordinary rats would have been riddled with disease. This was the last movie for veteran cinematographer Douglas Slocum. Towards the end of production, Slocum was going blind in his right eye, which became permanent, evident when he appeared in the making of documentaries for the 2003 DVD collection. During pre-production, the character Donovan was originally named Chandler. Sir Tom Stoppard was paid $120,000 to rewrite dialogue, specifically the lines for Henry and the Henry and Indiana exchange. After this movie's release and subsequent success, he was paid another $1 million as a bonus. In The Last Crusade in Oral History, an article published in Empire magazine in 2006, Spielberg said about the junior and senior conversations that it was an emotional story, but I didn't want to get sentimental. The disconnection from each other was the basis for a lot of comedy, and it gave Tom Stoppard, who was uncredited, a lot to write. Tom is pretty much responsible for every line of dialogue. Cameo. Alex Hyde White, who plays the younger Henry Jones Sr. In 1912, Hyde White's face was never shown, and his lines were dubbed over by Sean Connery. Kevork Malakayan played Kazim, lost the role of Sala in Raiders of the Lost Ark to John Rhys Davies, but was remembered by Steven Spielberg for this movie. Cool. Got to beat that. All right, I'll read a few more of these. There's a lot. This was the last theatrical movie of Paul Maxwell, who plays Panama Hat, the bad guy at the beginning of the film. According to the comic book adaptation of this movie, Colonel Virgil's first name was Ernest. Julian Glover was slated to play this role before being reassigned to the character of Donovan. River Phoenix became the first actor to portray Indiana Jones as a teenager in the prologue sequence featuring young Indy, inspired George Lucas to create the television series The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Phoenix was asked to play young Indy in the series, but turned it down since he didn't want to return to television. Sean Patrick Flannery was cast instead. The difficulties shown by the tank driver in maneuvering the vehicle are very realistic. The Mark I tank or any other World War I tank was so unwieldy that its manufacturers rushed to produce an upgrade. The Mark IV was ready in only 1 year's time. Lord Laurence Olivier, widely considered to be the greatest British actor of the 20th century, was briefly considered to play the Grail Knight, but he was too ill to commit to the role and died shortly after this movie's release in 1989. I'm going to bring this up because Tim brought this up in the chat. Ronald Lacey, who of course was Toad in the original film, has a cameo in this film. He plays Heinrich Himmler in the Nazi Berlin parade scene. He is seen standing behind Michael Sheard, who plays Hitler. Henry Jones Sr. calls Indiana Jr. 16 times. Calls him Indiana only twice. He also calls Indiana son 4 times and boy 3 times. Indiana tells his father not to call him Junior or that 3 times, and almost does a 4th, but is interrupted. Indiana calls his father Dad a total of 54 times, 4 times when Henry Sr. is not the scene. Indiana's leap from horse to tank was performed by legendary British stuntman Vic Armstrong. The 4 horses used in the final scenes outside of the temple were loaned to the movie personally by King Hussein of Jordan. All right, 3 of the lead actors in this movie shared a movie role with their own real-life sons. Harrison Ford's son, Ben Ford, was used in digital face replacement for the 30th anniversary version of Blade Runner. He also shared his own role in this movie with River Phoenix, who played his son in The Mosquito Coast. Sean Connery played Robin Hood in Robin and Marion. Jason Connery plays Robin Hood in Robin of Sherwood in season 3. John Rhys Davies also appeared in that series as King Richard, a role played by Connery in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Julian Glover appears with Ford in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. His character, General Veers, was later voiced by his son, Jamie Glover, in the Star Wars video games. The only Indiana Jones movie where the second billed actor is not a woman. 5 of the stars in this movie appeared in James Bond movies. John Rhys Davies plays Pushkin in The Living Daylights. Julian Glover is Christados in For Your Eyes Only. Alison Doty is Jenny Flex in A View to a Kill. Michael Byrne is Admiral Kelly in Tomorrow Never Dies. And of course, Sean Connery played Bond in 7 films, from Dr. No to Never Say Never Again. However, none of the former 3 had starred with Connery or with each other in the film franchise. 3 cast members have played King Richard, aka the Lionheart. Julian Glover in The Lion and Ivanhoe both for director Douglas Cornfield, John Rhys Davies, and Robin of Sherwood, Sean Connery, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. This movie has the most chase sequences of any Indiana Jones movie. 6 different types of chases: foot, train, boat, motorcycle, plane, and car. This is also the only movie in the franchise to have a boat chase or a train chase, that is until the 5th installment, Dial of Destiny. That doesn't count. When Henry expresses surprise that Indy can fly a plane, Indiana responds with fly? Yes. Land? No. This refers to his crashing of a plane in Temple of Doom. And crashing into a golf course or two. Nothing? Okay. All right. Hold on. IMDb Pro is not being nice to me tonight, folks. Keeps jumping on me. I'll read a few more of these off, and then there's a lot, like I said. I'll read a few more, and then we'll pack it in. Let's see. Scenes cut from the movie. According to Jeffrey Boehm's script, Indiana was taken to Donovan's apartment against his will. When he encounters Donovan's henchmen, they pull a gun on him, and Indiana agrees to follow them to avoid endangering students with a fight on campus. Some more footage of Indiana's coerced trip to Donovan's penthouse apartment was also shown. In the finished movie, the scene was cut considerably, with an artful cut between the men approaching Indiana and Indiana standing in Donovan's apartment. Leads the story. Originally, this movie was to show more of Indiana and Marcus on their flight to Venice. While studying his father's diary, Indiana finds a charcoal rubbing of Donovan's Grail tablet and sees the stained glass window sketch above the Roman numerals. This foreshadows the discovery of the secret passage in the Venice Library and sets up Indiana's interest in making a rubbing of the Knight's Shield. What remains of this footage was incorporated into the montage as the familiar red line traces Indiana's route across the globe. When Indiana and Elsa arrive at the Boonwald Castle to free Henry from the Nazis, Indy presents himself as a Scottish lord by imitating a Scottish accent. A suspicious butler opens the door, acknowledges Indy and a skim, and answers by saying, "If you're a Scottish lord, then I'm Jesse Owens." The reference to the Black Olympic runner who defeated Nazi Germany at the Olympic Games in 1936 was appropriate for the time and place, but might have gone over the heads of many viewers. George Lucas and Steven Spielberg changed the reference to Mae West, but decided again modern movie audiences would miss the joke. Many websites claim they settled on Mickey Mouse, something everyone young and old can relate to, even though it wouldn't be the first thing to come to the mind of an elderly German butler in the 1930s. But the butler doesn't appear to mouth Jesse Owens. So in the graphic novel of The Last Crusade, Indy introduces himself as Bob Falfa, the character played by Ford in Lucas's American Graffiti. In the movie, it does appear that the butler mouths this name, not Jesse Owens. If so, God, this is so fucking long. Sorry, guys. The filmmakers surely decided the in-joke was too obscure for viewers and instead looped Mickey Mouse in post-production. With his bluff cold, Indiana knocks the old butler unconscious, takes him on his back, and starts looking for a place to hide the body, while Elsa congratulates him for his accent. Finally, they hide the butler in a sarcophagus that, once it's slit, is closed, features a face similar to the butler's face. In the finished movie, we see Indy knocking out the butler, and from there we witness Indy and Elsa wandering the castle with no interest in the butler's body. As Marcus and Solid tried to run from the Nazis in the Eskendrun train station, there was originally 2 additional actions, one of Solid slapping a camel and causing it to spit mucus all over the Nazis nearby, and another of Solid fighting the Nazis. Originally, the sequence in which Indiana recovers the Grail diary and gets it signed by Hitler, was longer. Before the book burning rally started, Hitler was seen marching with his lieutenants while a woman was filming the scene. Although her name was not mentioned, the woman was assumed to be Leni Riefenstahl, Hitler's official biographer. Indiana is stopped by a Nazi wearing a long black overcoat who reprimands him for intruding on the procession. Much like the scene in Raiders, Indy knocks the bossy superior officer out cold and steals his clothing. This brief comedic scene explains where Indy got the disguise he wears at Berlin Airport in the following scene. Possibly it was cut to avoid repeating the same joke too many times. As Indy and Henry prepare to buy a ticket, Indy spots Vogel, another Nazi, standing guard at the plane ticket lines. He wrestles Henry back through the crowd to hide him, then goes to the only unguarded ticket line. This explains why they ended up using as unorthodox means of travel as a Zeppelin. This seems the scene where Indy tells his dad he got the first available flight out of Germany was filmed as an efficient substitute for this longer cat and mouse sequence. Okay, let's see. All right, there's a few more in a minute. Originally, there was a German World War I flying ace trying to impress fellow Zeppelin passengers with his spectacular war stories. This scene would have probably cut back and forth between the flying ace and the conversation between Indy and his dad on the other side of the passenger lounge. After Indy and his dad head down below the Dubai plane, everyone in the passenger lounge is alerted to the presence of spies on board. The drunken flying ace jumps up to help in catching these spies, and with several others, he heads down below to find that Indy and his dad have already left the plane. Fortunately for Indy's pursuers, there's another plane attached to the bottom of the Zeppelin. Without thinking, the flying ace hurriedly jumps into the plane's cockpit, along with a young pilot that tagged along. In his drunken state, the flying ace forgets to start the plane's engines before detaching it from the Zeppelin, therefore causing the plane to plummet to the ground. This scene also featured the appearance of Indiana Jones veteran Pat Roach as the black dress Gestapo agent who follows the flying ace to death. A brief scene showing Indy and Henry getting off the train at Iskandrun to meet Saleh. It would have answered the question of how they got to Iskandrun and met with Saleh. Malakian spelled hours of Spielberg staging this death scene. He was to collapse into Alison Doty's arms and slide down her body. After grabbing him, she pulls her hands back to find them covered with blood. The shot never managed to achieve the impact Spielberg wanted, and he finally dropped it. This scene was actually a recreation of David Gellin's Death from the Man Who Knew Too Much. After surviving the tank battle, Indy and company witness an explosion in the distance. The Nazis are blasting a wider entrance through the canyon. This scene was part of a larger story element that was cut out of the film. About the Grail Temple being hidden past a narrow chasm. This also explained how it could go undiscovered for so long. Since Henry has a copy of the map to the canyon in his diary, this transitional scene was considered unnecessary. The second challenge in the Grail Temple was first planned to have tarantulas hidden under each wrong letter. Indy is shown being menaced by a tarantula crawling up his body after stepping on the J. While in post-production, Spielberg decided the scene didn't have the impact for which he was looking, and he came up with the chasm underneath the stone tablets. Throughout development and pre-production, Spielberg admitted he was, quote, consciously regressing in making this movie. Due to his commitment to the movie, Spielberg dropped out of directing Big and Rain Man. Big was written by his sister, by the way. Menno Magi submitted a script that depicted Indiana searching for his father in Montsegur, I'm guessing, where he met a nun named Chantal. Indiana traveled to Venice, took the Orient Express to Istanbul, and continued by train to Petra, Jordan, where he met Salah and reunited with his father. Together, they found the Grail. In the climax, a Nazi villain touched the Grail and exploded. When Henry touched it, he ascended a stairway to heaven. Chantal chose to stay on Earth because of her love for Indy. In a revised draft dated 2 months later, Indiana found his father and cracked the Chevalier. The Nazi leader was a woman named Greta Van Grimm, and Indy battled a demon at the Grail site, which he defeated with a dagger inscribed with God is King. The prologue in both drafts had Indy in Mexico battling with a man who owned gorillas as pets for possession of Montezuma's death mask. George Lucas was first introduced the Holy Grail in an idea for the prologue, which was to be set in Scotland. He intended the Grail to have a pagan basis, with the rest of this movie revolving around a separate Christian artifact in Africa. Spielberg did not care for the Grail idea, which he found too esoteric, even after Lucas suggested giving it healing powers and the ability to grant immortality. Jeffrey Boehm wrote a draft set in 1939. The prologue had adult Indy retrieving an Aztec relic for a museum curator in Mexico and featured the circus trained Henry and Elsa, who was described as having dark hair. We're searching for the Holy Grail on behalf of the Chandler Foundation before Henry went missing. The character of Kazim was named Kamal and was an agent of the Republic of Tay, which shot the Grail for its own. Cornell shot Henry and died drinking from the wrong chalice. The Grail Knight battled Indy on horseback, and Vogel was crushed by a boulder while stealing the Grail. In the second draft, Indy's mother, named Margaret in this version, dismissed Indiana when he returned home with the Cross Coronado, while his father was on a long-distance call. Walter Chandler of the Chandler Foundation was featured, but not as the main villain. He plunges to his death in the tank. Elsa introduced Indy and Brody to a large Venetian family that knew Henry. Leni Riefenstahl appears at the Nazi rally in Berlin. Vogel was beheaded by the traps guarding the Grail. Kamal tried to blow up the Grail Temple using a comical during a comical fight in which gunpowder was repeatedly hit and extinguished. Elsa shoots Henry, then dies drinking from the wrong Grail, and he rescues his father, falling into the chasm while grasping for the Grail. Okay. Like I said, there's a lot more, folks. We'd probably be here the rest of the night reading them. I'm going to stop right there. The scrolls are closed.
Okay, well, that brings us to next week, where I'm planning, we're planning to get a little piratey. Yes, so for next week, I'd like to do Pirates of the Caribbean in 2003, starring Johnny Depp. Is it okay with you guys? Thank you, JPRPH1, for becoming a sponsor again for 5 consecutive months. Very much appreciated, JPRPH1. Thank you. No, we're gonna start with the Curse of the Black Pearl. Curse of the Black Pearl. We're gonna start with the first one. He made a video to the pirate films. Oh, cool! I'll have to go watch that. But yeah, my plan is Unless you have any objections to deleted scenes, are you okay with Pirates of the Caribbean?
Sure. Depends on how long it is. I might have to duck out of that a little bit early before the end, but yeah. Sounds fine.
It has a runtime of 2 hours and 23 minutes for the first film.
Yeah, if we start at 5:30, I might have to skedaddle, but I'll look into it and see what the schedule on my end is, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, that's the plan, and I think for Western cinema on Sunday we'll do a kind of a musical with Clint Eastwood with "Paint Your Wagon." I don't think we done "Paint Your Wagon." I don't think we have done it. I've been holding it out, but I think that could be a good one. What do you guys think? What do you think, Deleted? Paint Your Wagon for Western Cinema presents.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Clint Eastwood in musical. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, it's a movie and a musical in a way. There's a lot of musical things in it. It's funny. It's a comedy. It's a Western comedy, and we've had requests for it in the past, and I've had it for a while, so I've just been holding out to as to the win, and I think the Sunday would be a perfect time. So stay tuned. Western Cinema, Paint Your Wagon with Clint Eastwood. And next week, hopefully, Pirates of the Caribbean and Curse of the Black Pearl. And go, I know I am, between now and next week, I'm going to check out Igma's video on the pirate films. Thank you, Igma and Igma. And as I like to say at the end of these things, always remain to be excellent to each other. Party on, and we will see you at the next one. And can't tell you all how appreciated I am for all of you guys being here. It means a lot. Thank you for taking your time on your day and your evening to be with us for our little program. Over to you, Deleted Scenes.
All right. As for myself, you can join me tonight at 11 p.m. for the next episode of Coming Attractions, where you get to find out what I'm going to be up to in the next week. And as I always say at the end of every broadcast from HQ, our second home office in Arizona, and all it's north, southeast, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy. Thank you all for being here.
This is how we win.